Today I'd like to talk to you about refoaming Bose 901 Series 4 speakers, and also at the end I'd like to talk about the 901 in general and Bose Corporation and my feelings about both the 901s and Bose Corporation over the years. There's a lot of people out there that hate Bose. There's some that love them, and I'd like to talk a little about that. But first, let's get into the speaker refoaming. Almost all Bose 901 Series 4s are known for rotting foam around the drivers. Almost all of them. It doesn't matter. They all do it. I hate to say they all do it, but just about all of them are going to have rotting foam. And you've got 9 drivers in the speaker. You've got 8 in the back and then 1 in the front. And it's going to take you a while if you haven't done this before. Even if you have done it before, it's going to take you a while, right? Because you've got 9 drivers per enclosure, so you're going to do this 18 times. And depending, it's just like taking wallpaper off a wall. Some of it, you wet it, it comes off easy. Sometimes it doesn't. And the same thing here. Chip off as much as you can of the dry, rotting foam with a screwdriver, a chisel, a knife, whatever kind of works for you. You're going to have to take all that old foam off, both the plastic enclosure and also off the speaker. On the plastic enclosure, you don't have to worry too much. Don't slip. That paper cone is pretty delicate, so you don't want to slip. Take your time and probably work on that plastic enclosure first and get that cleaned up. Usually you can just, like I said, use your screwdriver, use a chisel, whatever you're comfortable with, and just be careful, but go around that plastic enclosure, get that cleaned up. Then you're going to have to get that old foam off of the speaker itself, the paper, and the only way to really do that is to get some rubbing alcohol and dab it around the edge, and that will usually loosen it up enough to where you can get your screwdriver, your chisel under there, and you just got to go slow. If you don't have any patience, then just don't do this, because it's going to take you a little while and you can damage these speakers pretty easy if your chisel goes through them. So once you get them all cleaned up, you need to either have some compressed air, a shop vac, whatever it is. But again, be careful of those paper cones because they're pretty delicate. Whatever works for you to get all that stuff, all those pieces of dry foam that you've taken off, to get those out of the enclosures. As I said, you can clean them up in any manner you feel. Even a can of compressed air. I didn't mention that, but that works pretty good too. So this is in the back. You have the 8 drivers. It's quite easy to get to those. The front has 6 staples that you need to remove to get the front of that off. Don't put a screwdriver down between the cabinet and the front grill, because you're going to mar up your cabinet, and you don't want to do that. You can use a flashlight to kind of find those staples. They're small. I mean, I'm not kidding you. You can say, well, how's this on here? There are 6 staples in there. So use a flashlight and you can see the metal glow in there. That'll help you. And then once you get that off, it's just a single speaker. You'll see that's all rotted too. And you do the same thing. You get in there and you get that old foam off and get it ready for the new. I recommend buying a kit off the internet. A kit that will include the new foam, the new adhesive that you've got to use, and instructions. Because if you haven't done this before, you're probably going to think, how do you do it? So I'd buy one of the kits that have a good reputation on the internet. It'll come with the foam, the adhesive, and all the instructions on how to do it. Once you get them in there, get that all done. It's going to take you, it's going to take you a few hours probably to do this, because you got to go slow, and there are 18 drivers. But once you get it in there, this thing's ready to go probably another 20, 30 years. So it's well worth the few hours it takes to to do this job. I used Velcro in the corners. We took those those staples out. Instead of trying to pound the staples back in, I used a little Velcro inside the cabinet. It was just easier. If I ever wanted to take it off again, I could, without trying to, pull these staples out, trying to find them and then get them out with a little screwdriver. Well, once I got that done, it was time for a little wood polish, and that goes a long way on any wood cabinet. And the 901s really looked good, getting freshened up. And as I said, the new foam ought to be ready to go. And this Bose 901 speaker restoration is complete. It's time for some music. All right, well, now I want to talk about what I think about Bose 901s. These are my 901s, the Series 4s that you just saw in the video. I also have a pair of 901 Series 2s with equalizer, as well as a Bose 551 receiver. I didn't buy any of those new back years ago. I got them during, through the years at different places at different times. But I'd just like to say that, the Bose 901, it was just made up until a couple years ago, like 2016. They were still producing them. Almost a 50-year run. What other speaker can say that other than, I guess, the Klipschorns, right? They can say that, but they're a very expensive speaker. There's probably 300 pair of 901 sold to every one of the Klipschorns. But the point is really, I think, you listen to your ears. Nothing else. Your ears. If you like Bose products, there's nothing wrong with that. And there's people out there that say they got 40 years of experience and they sound terrible. And, it's all about marketing and it's all about sales. Well, no kidding. That's why they're still around, right? I'm not into their new products. I don't wear a pair of NFL Bose headphones like all the coaches do. I don't have smart speakers. I don't even know what their products are, to tell you the truth. But they've done what they needed to survive. And these other people, they talk about them and, their high-end stereo shop closed. Or a manufacturer they shut down, because they weren't building the products the people wanted. So from my perspective, bottom line, if you like Bose products and they sound good to you, that's great. The only other company I can think of from the 60s still around, right? Macintosh, American company. And they got in a lot of trouble in the 80s, had to accept outside money. But, Dr. Bose, what can you say? He started in 64. He started with nothing. And he created a multi-billion-dollar company. So he died a few years ago. And he's not thinking too much right now, I'm sure. But I'm sure back, because Bose has been getting a hard time, has been getting a hard time from people for a long, long while. And I'm sure if he did think about it at all, he was probably laughing as he was depositing money in the bank. So anyway, I'm really interested to hear what y'all have got to say about Bose products and any other product that you can think of that gets a bad name that you really like, or a product that is very popular that you don't like, either one. So if you enjoyed this video, I'd appreciate a like. If you want more, please subscribe. And if you think somebody else might be interested in my videos, please share it with them. So thanks a lot for watching and have a good day.